This week is full of Apple successes and failures, and also T-Mobile had a big launch. And you know what we're gonna do together as a people, of course? We're gonna tech it out. Welcome to another sensational Saturday. This is Mike, and this is Mike Techs It Out, because in this universe, there is news that is created, and I am a vessel, a vehicle to deliver that news, and the best news of all is the tech news, and that's what I come with every week, every Saturday. Welcome back. Welcome if you're here for the first time, and let's get right into it. We got a whole bunch of Apple stuff this week, starting with Apple spending that money and buying Intel's modem business for $1 billion. So I talked about this a while ago. Apple confirmed that they were going to go ahead and, spend that money to buy Intel's modem business. But, business deals take forever. So everybody kind of forgot about it. And then all of a sudden this week, boom, deal is done. Apple officially owns Intel's modem business. So when I say modem business, I mean phone modems, because Intel was already making the modems for the current gen iPhones anyway. So they were like, you know what, might as well go ahead and cop that. And plus Intel said they were getting out of the phone modem business because they were kind of getting their butts kicked by Qualcomm anyway, and Apple was their biggest customer. So it is what it is. But now Apple controls their own modem business, so that's one less part that they have to worry about sourcing from somebody else. They don't have to get back in bed with Qualcomm. They're gonna do their own thing, and Apple could take some hardware that's mediocre and through software do amazing things with it. So I'm really excited to see what they do with Intel's modems. Now that they own them, they're going to be in-house. Not saying that they're mediocre, but in comparison to Qualcomm's, performance-wise, they're mediocre. There, I said it. I said it. In our next story, Apple faces a potential loss in the future as they failed to stop the class action lawsuit about the butterfly switch keyboard, which is obviously prone to failure. Everybody knows at this point. That's why every MacBook that has that butterfly switch keyboard pretty much is on an extended warranty for a keyboard replacement, because they know it has problems. So there's a class action lawsuit that's going to go to court. Apple tried to block it, and they were like, no. They let it do what it do. It had issues. It had issues. Don't sit there and lie to us. Don't lie to the federal judges. They ain't having it. And they were like, no, we ain't dismissing the suit. You did your little replacement program, but is that good enough for machines that cost multiple thousands of dollars? I mean, I spent, $2,200 on my MacBook Pro with a butterfly switch keyboard. If it fails, I'm gonna be real mad. So I do think that Apple should have to pay up a little something instead of just being like, we'll replace it if it breaks. I mean, granted, I did buy my MacBook knowing about these problems, even though in 2018, when the new MacBooks first came out and they did the new membrane under the keyboard, it was supposed to have resolved the issues, but apparently it hasn't. So, you can say that, yes, I was an educated buyer, and a lot of people might have been educated buyers, but it's not like if you wanted a MacBook and you wanted a new one, you had a choice, because it's not like Apple offered another product that was a laptop that had a different style keyboard. At the time, they didn't. Now they do, but then they didn't. So I definitely think if this lawsuit goes through and they actually win, then yes, they should pay up some money to all of us that were affected or potentially will be affected, because, who knows how long you're going to have this laptop. You're spending thousands of dollars on it. They need to pay up, y'all. I want money. I want it in full. I want checks coming to my house from Apple. I want a little Apple logo on it, and I want Apple stickers with the check. That's what I want. Apple stickers with my payout for this class action lawsuit. Too much money for a bad keyboard. I'm just saying. In non-Apple news, the one non-Apple thing I have today, T-Mobile dropped its 5G network ahead of schedule. And by dropped, I don't mean like they gave up on it. They actually let it go live, let it go free. So they're not doing regular 5G, the faster speed 5G. They're doing a lower band 5G, which is not as fast, but it's supposed to have a wider range. So the plan was they were going to drop. I gotta stop using that term. That's not right for this because it's out. Drop and cell phone signal and T-Mobile is not a good parity going on here. Anyway, they released their network ahead of schedule because originally they said they weren't going to release it until the merger with Sprint was complete. But obviously it's not complete yet. But they're like, you know what? We're going to go ahead and do it. So if you have one of the 2 5G phones out there and you happen to be on T-Mobile, then maybe you can get some 5G connectivity. Let me know how it is if you got it. I'm interested to see how much better than this low band version of 5G will be than the current LTE that we have right now. Either way, I'm hoping that this merger with Sprint, as I said many times, will give T-Mobile and Sprint customers better network coverage. So it's exciting to see them finally getting into 5G, and hopefully they'll be able to better compete with Verizon and AT&T. Because I think T-Mobile as a company makes a lot of good choices for the consumer, and I hope that continues. If it changes, it changes. Then we're just going to have 3 bad carriers, and it'll be like whatever. But in the meantime, enjoy your low-band 5G. All right, our next story, we're hopping back over to Apple, and we're jumping right into a rumor. So it has been leaked or rumored, however you want to say it, if this comes to fruition, that the 2021 iPhone will not have a charging port at all. It's going to be all wireless. Just drop it on there, wireless charging, boom, we're good to go. Personally, I'm going to look back on this, and I'm putting this on the internet. I'm going to look back on it and I'm be like, completely wrong. But I don't think it's going to happen because there's just too many variables right now with wireless charging that just makes it somewhat inaccessible. And I don't mean from a price standpoint, because you can get cheap wireless chargers, they work fine. But for one, you don't get fast charging like you get fast charging, but that's for iPhone at least. It's like 7.5 watts, which is nothing in comparison to the 18 watts that you get with the fast charger. 2, if you have Apple CarPlay right now, a lot of cars don't support the wireless version of it. So that's going to cut out a whole segment of their market unless they're planning on doing a widespread release of Apple CarPlay over Bluetooth. And then 3, they're charging in places like cars or on the go. Like maybe, you have your backpack charge or something like that, and you want to plug your phone in to charge. You kind of lose that accessibility. Yes, there's portable wireless chargers, but wireless charging is so finicky. Like you have to have your phone in that sweet spot or else it won't activate. Like sometimes I go to sleep and I might knock my phone a little bit in my sleep and I wake up and it stopped charging like in the middle of the night, and it sucks for the rest of the day. So unless wireless charging is somehow going to get a lot better than what it is right now, I don't think that it's a viable option. Like I don't see it getting that much better by 2021 where this can be our only method of charging. I use wireless charging like 90% of the time. I'm all for wireless charging, but even I don't think this is a good idea. But we are talking about Apple, and they do tend to get rid of things when they feel like it's time for it to go, even when the rest of the world is not ready. And the rest of the world will sometimes adapt to it. I don't think we're there with USB-C yet, but they won't make any MacBooks without it and offer any traditional USB-A ports. So Apple, they could do it. I could be completely wrong, but I don't think it's going to happen that soon. And in our final story, Apple gets caught spying on your location. So it came out this week that the iPhone and the iPhone 11 Pro are always checking your location, even if you turn location services off. Now, this information is not being sent anywhere. It's stored locally on the phone, and Apple did explain it after this was discovered. So the new iPhones have the ultra wideband chip, which makes AirDrop a lot better. It makes Find My iPhone, things like that work a lot better. And it also allows, if your phone's near somebody else's phone, even if it's not connected to like a Wi-Fi network or whatever, it can use that signal to find other devices. So it's kind of cool, but the ultra wideband radio can't be enabled in certain locations. So in order to make sure the radio turns itself off, it has to check your location to make sure that it's not in a location where it's not allowed. So that's why my iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro check your location even when your location services are off. So Apple did explain that. It makes sense. And they also confirmed the person that discovered this confirmed as well. The information is not going off of the phone, so it's not being shared online or sent to Apple or sent anywhere. But it reminds us that as much as Apple wants to talk about privacy, they still need to be more transparent. Apple's always been very buttoned up. Like, yes, they're private, that's a good thing for a lot of people, but there's also a lot of secrets that they keep unnecessarily that would just make them look less bad if they came out and said it. That's my opinion on it. It doesn't bother me personally. Even if the location was being sent to Apple, it wouldn't bother me. I don't turn my location services off. I don't care that much about being tracked, but that's up to each individual. Everybody has their comfort level when it comes to technology and tracking, things like that. Some people like to live off the radar as much as they can. Completely understand that. I just thought the story was interesting. And you know what else is interesting? Or not interesting? And that's this episode coming to a conclusion. But if you enjoyed it, make sure that you tell a friend and you tell a coworker, and you like and you share and you subscribe. There's a button up there somewhere in this general direction. It's over here. Go ahead and hit it to subscribe to get more Mike Checks It Out. And as always, remember to do at least 2 things at the same time. We out of here.